Hey guys, welcome back. This is Chosen Architect, and today we're going to be dabbling with a little bit of Reborn storage and also playing around with some Ender IO mechanics. I hope you guys are ready. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you guys had a great afternoon. After watching yesterday's video, I decided, you know what, this room is just too big to have just chickens in here. So I think this is going to be our automation room for refined storage. We're going to refine storage, automate a lot of stuff, and chickens is going to be a part of that. So I can move these around really anywhere I want. I can even pick this whole thing up with the chickens inside with a wand if I so need to. But right now it's just going to stay in here for right now. Our power is still generating at, it's actually working perfectly on the power. But I went ahead and moved both of my refined storage systems over here. And I basically changed the automation for this. This now goes into a wireless item transmitter, and that is pushing the items into this chest. Now, we're going to see a few items actually go in here. And this is going to go back into our system. Yeah. So it's pretty easy to set up. And as you can see, this stuff has been running, and we have way too much of certain things. Those are going to have to be sorted eventually. We're going to have to sort out our entire storage system, removing items or putting them in mass storage containers, which we can use quantum storage for, which will definitely work. But today I wanted to jump into something else. Autocrafting, and also making travel through our base a little bit easier. And that is going to be helped with Ender IO. And then also removing these nasty torches. Like, I don't want torches everywhere. So there's a way we can actually fix the torches, and that's what we're going to work on today. But first, let's get some autocrafting started with refined storage. All right, so at refined storage, you're going to find that your normal autocrafting is going to consist of a crafter. And you can autocraft inside of a crafter. It's perfectly easy to do, but we're not going to do that today. We're going to try something else. We're going to use these crafters for specific automations of machines later on, whenever we need that set up. But for right now, I'm going to work on getting ourselves a pattern grid. So we're going to have to make ourselves our first pattern, and we should have several of the items required for this all ready to go. So let me go ahead and make a few of these, because I know I'm going to need a bunch of those, and might as well get some quartz, because I know this is also going to just require quartz for the destruction core, and there we go. Perfect. All right, back to refined storage, and we'll get the pattern grid. So this should be pretty easy to make. The pattern grid right there, and then we're also going to need a crafting monitor. I can use the crafting monitor later on. It'll just make our life a lot easier if we just have this thing ready to go. All right, so we're going to need 2 more patterns for this, and then we're going to need just a machine casing. There we go. We're getting pretty low on our enriched iron, so we'll have to figure something out for that soon. But now we have these 2 separate monitors, which we can then place one on each side, just like that. So our crafting monitor itself and our actual pattern grid. And we can actually stretch this out to make it a little bit bigger so we can see some things. But let's make some patterns. And I guess we could probably just do refined storage and then patterns. And that will get us a few patterns. Let me say 28, that's going to be plenty for right now. We basically just ran out of our material. But you put the crafting patterns inside this slot, and you have a few different tabs. You have your ore dictionary and ore processing, which that's what we're going to work on a little bit with today. But there's another mod that helps refine storage. And it's called Refined, or not Refined, oh boy, now I can't even think of the name of it. Reborn storage. Now, Reborn storage adds some very large storage cards. Look at this, 524 million storage for fluid. And then we have these that store, I think the top tier, 32,768,000 fluid storage on this. These are just fluid. This actual storage disks go all the way up to 16 million 384 items. Like, that's items for one disc. That is ridiculous. But the autocrafting for this can be done, and it can be processed. But I would like to make it so that way we don't need like a ton of crafters. Like, crafters are okay, but if you have to have like 500 crafters, you're doing something wrong. Like if you have Reborn storage. All right, so let's take a look at Reborn storage itself. It has a few different parts. We're going to need some of the frame blocks, and we're actually going to make the smallest version of this that we can possibly make. So let's make one crafting CPU. We're only going to need one for this. Let's also make some of this rich quartz, because we're going to need a bit of that today. All right, so we're going to need just one of the crafting CPUs. We're going to need one crafting storage, which is going to require either construction or deconstruction cores, doesn't really matter, and a crafting table. We've got to have wood in here. I think all my wood is actually changed into different types. So there we go. And I have this sorted by most. I honestly should be sorted by ID. That'd make it a little bit easier for me to navigate. And there is our crafting storage. You can see that actually required a 1K part for that crafting storage. And then we're going to need a crafting, or we're going to need these heat conductors. Now, each one of these heat conductors, we're going to need, for the smallest one, we're going to need 8 of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so we're going to need 8 of those. And then for each side, we're going to need, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So definitely 10, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. We're going to need 24 of the crafting frames. So 24 of these bad boys to make our smallest version of this crafting storage. All right, we ran out of the quartz. That's okay. We'll make some more of that. That is heavily used. And honestly, this is like super cheap for what it does. So here is like the smallest one we can make, right? So let's go ahead and take this. I don't think we need this port, IO port, unless this is something that's actually needed now. We'll find out when we put this together, because it's been a while since I've actually made one of these. So let's go ahead and break this for right now. We're going to place this down. We're going to make a 3x3 structure here. On the bottom, it's going to be closed. Then we're going to have a crafting CPU. And then we're going to have our crafting storage. And then we're going to pretty much build around this. Like so. Taking this up. This should remind you of, oh, I guess we need one extra. 25? 25 of these casings? Oh, that's right. I actually need one more because it goes on the top. Oh, I forgot about those top pieces. So I'm actually going to need that as well. Okay, so now that's done. We should be able to hook our heat containers here. It's going to help cool this thing down. And this should be a multi-block. It says this frame is not valid for the sides of the block. I'm almost wondering if I need this. Because this seems like it's a new block. That I guess the IO port would be where I hook into it. Like actually hook it to my system. Let's do that. There we go. And okay, frame is not valid for the sides of the block. Maybe the top actually needs the heat things as well. I mean, it's just like trial and error. It's been a while since I've done this mod. So let's just try and make 2 more of these. Right, we'll do one for the top. And one for the bottom. And I don't know if we need this or not. I'm going to leave it for right now. And we'll go up to the top. Place that. And if all is done right, this should work. There it goes. So yes, it does need the heater, it does need the heat conductors at the top as well. All right, I don't know if I need this I/O port. I don't think I will, but we have a way to search up here, which is really nice. But this is where our storage, as you can see, this has a lot of storage. This is like well over 10 of the individual crafters that I would have had to make had I not made that. So let's get a cable. And we'll actually hook into this thing. And it should be pretty easy. Bam, we should be hooked in now. And our actual crafting, auto-crafting, should work. So some of the first things that I would like to craft. Alright, well, I would love to craft refined storage. I would love to craft a cutting tool. But first, I will need to make sure that I have a recipe for the enriched quartz. So let's get that done. We're going to need, I don't think we're going to need ore dictionary, and we're not going to need processing. It's a regular crafting recipe. We're going to need to make sure we have this made, so that way this pattern will craft. And what you want to do is just kind of backtrack. You're going to be like, oh, I need sticks. Well, to make sticks, we want to make sure ore dictionary is on, and we're going to get wood. We can pull this, we should be able to craft in here, I think. We used to be able to craft in here. Let's get some wood. And then we'll make the recipe manually for this, but set it to ore dictionary, 2 sticks, and we'll craft that. And you can see we have the patterns. You hold shift, it's actually going to show you the patterns, which is really nice. Let's go ahead and throw that back in. So now we have the patterns to make that tool, and always have that tool ready to go. So let's go ahead and throw that inside here. So yes, these patterns will go in here, and you can see that they will store it. And now, if I go into refine storage and say I don't have a cutting tool here, I should be able to see this. If I can't see this, I probably have to make it the I/O port, and then we'll connect to the I/O port. Display mode, only craftables. Okay, so it's showing this is a craftable. Why is it not showing the sticks are craftable? Oh, it's showing this is craft. Oh, we haven't made the actual craft for the part that we're needing. We haven't even made the cutting tool part. So let's make the actual cutting tool. There we go. And now this should work, and we'll make a crafting recipe for that. And then we'll throw that in there. Now we should see the crafting recipe. So there it is. There's the cutting tool, and we can say make 1, start, and as you can see, it just made that cutting tool. Really easy. Now you should see this when it's in normal mode. You should see cutting tool, and when it's not there, you won't see it. And I think you can hit Alt click or Control click on this. Middle click. Actually, I can't remember. Control Shift? Yes, Control and Shift while hovering over an item that you have in your inventory that can be auto-crafted. It will allow you to actually start the auto-craft without pulling the items out, which that's actually really handy. Also in Refined Storage, if you just want to pull one item out, you can middle-click on your mouse, and it will pull one item out. That's very handy as well, if you guys don't know how that works. And then if you want to pull half a stack, of course, you can right-click. That's probably a way a lot of people do it. And a full stack is a shift right-click, and that will pull your items out as well. So, we've got this down. Pretty easy, right? So let's actually see. This is something that I wanted to test. With the new way Refined Storage works, does it make automation for these cutter pieces easy? Because I know in the past it wasn't easy. And it was kind of difficult to set up all of the different things that it required. Like it required you to have like 3, or actually it required 4 solderers, which was a thing that it actually required. Instead of a cutting tool, you had to put it through a machine. And you had to set up some pretty intense automation for it. So this, I don't know if we can actually tell it whether or not to have metadata. I'm going to set ore dictionary for it anyways, because it is going to need it for the silicon. So, or the silicon. Let's go ahead and craft this. So there's that crafting pattern. I hope that this tool will make itself if it needs it for the craft, right? If not, we're going to have to figure this out and figure out another way to do that. So each one of these is going to require this. So say I'm going to need to make this. Now we should be able to actually set this up and it should work. I'm going to leave OR dictionary on. I don't think it really matters for this case. Same for the gold. And same for this processor. And there we go. That should be automation for each one of those. I hope this works. So let's say we need refined storage. Let's say we need a few of those. Let's take out the cutting tools that we currently have in here. And I want to just test this out. So I know we have a bit of gold. Let's say I want 20 more improved processors. Is it going to realize it needs to make... Okay, so it has one available, it says. Let's take this out. I want it to have none available. I want it to let me know. So let's see. If we make more than it can actually handle, which is it can't do 60. Oh, so it already knows to craft 4 of the cutting tools. Oh, that is perfect. That means we have complete automation over this now. So that's good. It's smart enough to know that it needs more cutting tools. So perfect. That is great. Now we can set up smelting automation for that stuff. All we need is some sort of furnace. Hi, what are you doing over here? You little sneaky guy. Look at him coming over here trying to wreck our day. Coming over here and going, tss, I ain't having that. All right. Yeah, we can set that up now, and we can also craft through our wireless crafting terminals as well. But yeah, it's pretty easy to get this set up. Now, I was mentioning because I'm gonna have to do a bit more auto crafting processing. If you're going to be running something into a machine, it's kind of hard for me to explain this, but if you're going to be running something into a machine, you need to let it know how much of the item you're going to be putting in the machine and how much you're going to be getting in return and what you're getting in return. You can get up to 9 things in return and it should work. You can put up to 9 things in and 9 things in return, and you can put multiple items in each slot. So... I mean, if we want to say we're going to smelt cobblestone, we're going to need this. So we're going to need to say, all right, well, 1 stack of cobblestone will equal 1 stack of stone. But I don't recommend doing that because that could be pretty bad. So if you hold shift, I think if you hold control or middle click, no, middle click doesn't do 1. I was trying to remember how you can actually set it to 1 by default. Which I don't even know if you can. Usually I just do it like this, put the 1 item in my hand, and then set the automation. And this would create a process for which it would make stone. And so you could say, if you had an actual crafter, it would work that way. All right, so let's go ahead and clear this out. Let's make a crafter. By the way, it's really nice that you can set this. Let's set this to JEI synchronized. And we can actually automate the production of a crafter. Let's produce this enriched quartz machine casing here. All right, and then we're also going to need to make the construction core automated. So there's the construction core automated, and we need to make this automated. So those are all processed and ready for auto crafting. Now we need to make a process for the actual crafter. Now we haven't even made a crafter yet, right? We don't even have a crafter, but we can already auto-craft it before we've actually handcrafted it. So if I want to make a crafter, I can say, all right, I want 1. Please make it for me. There we go. I now have a crafter. Awesome, right? So there's some other things that we could do with this. With this crafter, I can actually place it down, and I can set to the side some more automation. And I could say output to a chest. Let's get an item. Let's get an item conduit. And we'll get a furnace. And I'm going to use this as just a really quick example. Because I'll be setting up some more complex stuff later on. And we'll get a chest. Right? And I will place let's see, this crafter into a chest, and it'll output the items into this chest. Then I'll have this furnace here, and this furnace will know how my chests are working. All right, let's get rid of you. I have a spawn. We're going to fix this here today. We're definitely going to fix this. And I'm going to run this back in to this, and we can turn this off by doing that. All right, so we have this guy. Well, this is kind of actually a bad example. I really need to do some better work here. Let's take this out. And we'll just say we'll just set it up like this. All right, we'll just have it go into a chest for right now, and then I'll tell you how it kind of works later on. Because honestly, we're gonna have to have coal in here. Let's do it like this. All right, so we put an item conduit down here. We're gonna need an item conduit going into the top, like that. And this is going to actually be pulling out, for example. We're going to have to break this down. Alright, let me turn that off. And then I will set this to extract, always active. Set that to insert on that channel. Up here, we're going to set that to extract, always active. And then right here, we're going to set that to insert. So, let's create a pattern real quick for the mentioned cobblestone. And I am going to put coal in here, but you can set this up so it puts just enough coal to actually cook that current item. I'm just going to have coal in here just for the process purpose. And what I was talking about earlier, we can say, I want to cook 1 stone in the processing, 1 piece of cobblestone equals 1 stone. We'll create that that guy. Right? Will it not work? There it goes. And what we're going to do is we're going to put this inside here. The processors do not go in here. This is just for normal crafting. And then let's say I want to make some stone. And I'll start that process. It's going to input in here, and it automatically goes inside here. And we can monitor it on our processor over here. We can see that it is actually working. And as soon as it's done processing, it'll go back into the system, which will finish up the craft. Right? Once this is done, this should automatically get exported out of the bottom if I have this set correctly. Do we have it set correctly? That is the question. Always active, extract. Can I not extract from the bottom of a furnace? What kind of mad world is this? That should totally work. And should also go back inside the crafter. Okay. Oh, I think I need an import. Oh, I need an import bus. That's right. These require import buses. So technically, we would have to route this another way. Okay. But anyways, you guys get the point. You guys get the example. You'll need an importer. You won't be able to import it directly into the crafter. I'm thinking of an interface from Applied Energistics. There's so many different mods that I deal with. But yeah, that's how it technically works. We'll set up some really cool automation with that eventually. Right now, I'm not too worried about it. I want to get rid of these torches and stuff. So let's start working on that. So there's a really cool block from Ender.io called a painting machine. It's very simplistic, just requires some electrical steel, which you can get that very easy with literally just these few items. But we're going to need to make this thing. So let's go ahead and make the painting machine. Now this is going to require a capacitor. So let's go ahead and I'll just use a basic capacitor for right now. I think that will work. Maybe not. Maybe just a basic capacitor. And we're going to get some glowstone. What we're going to do is we're going to paint blocks with glowstone. I don't know if it consumes the glowstone per se for the blocks, but we're going to get some wood, which we have right here, dark oak planks. I think 64 will honestly do the job and will work just fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here. I'm going to take over our machine that is currently giving out power to everything. Basic capacitor that bad boy up. Wreck this guy's day. Yep, have a good day. And this is going to start building up. So, you see right here, we have a paintbrush. And then we should be able to throw this in here. And this should paint this block with glowstone. Now this block will look exactly the same. It looks a little different in my hand, but when you place it down, it emits light. Yeah, I know, right? And it breaks with a pickaxe. So what we can use this for is completely clearing out these torches. And a good way to do that, of course, is hit F7, and we'll kind of monitor exactly where we're going to need light. Which would make this a little bit easier for placing blocks down on the floor. And this will remove the entire fact that we need torches. We will no longer be a caveman lighting our base with torches, right? Alright, so we should be able to actually put like one right here. And that'll light up a pretty large chunk of our base. Alright, I'm going to go back in here. I'm going to start putting more of these in. And we're going to pretty much paint all of these blocks. And they'll be replaced. They're just going to replace all of this in here. And it's going to be really nice. Like as you see, it does light up everything. It lights up the floor. Gets everything nice and bright. We'll have one like underneath our system back here. Just so that way our tops of our machines are lit. We do not want mobs spawning there. There's where mobs are coming from. Let's get some torches down here. That's going to change real soon. That's where they're coming from. They're just spawning right there in the center. Alright, so we should have a couple now. And yes, this is going to make life a whole lot easier for us. Oh boy. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. Alright, and yeah, I'm going to have to place one like right here. This is like 3 in front of this. Mainly because I don't want the tops of that being exposed. But yeah, it's going to look good in here once we get this fully set up. Let's actually place one directly under here. And that should light up the tops of that, which it does. Same for this side. We should get it nice and lit up. There we go. And also repeat the process over here. And bam. Alright, so yeah, it looks like I have a little bit of space, a little bit here and there. Which is fine. That's going to happen. We're probably going to have mobs spawn right back on us as soon as we leave. I can almost guarantee it. It looks like our Enderman is monitoring the progress for us, which is really nice of him. Really appreciate that, Mr. Enderman. Doing some handiwork there. Alright, let's stop that, and we will place one... I mean, it doesn't have to be very specific, just as long as it removes these dark areas. And there we go. Because it's not like anybody's going to notice there's even glowstone here. This is completely covered up. Like, maybe the roof might give it off. That there's, like, glowstone floors. I mean, you can't really tell, to be honest. You definitely can't tell. But it does definitely make the place look a lot better. But yeah, that is one of the Ender IO things that we're going to be working on today that we finished. So I'm going to work on replacing a lot of the other places in our build with this. But we also need to make travel a little bit easier. And travel, just look up travel anchors for that. Travel anchors are going to be your best friend. We need sand, gravel to make some of this conduit binder. Conduit binder can be cooked fairly easy. Let me head over here. I'll actually get this cooking up like right now. Conduit binder going in there. Let's move this. By the way, I did set up some like slight automation to get this going. There we go. That should start pulling the conduit binder. And that should get some conduit binder cooked up for us while we wait. Alright, now, while we wait, we can start working on some other stuff for this. We're going to need a pulsating crystal. That's going to require some pulsating iron. which we do have a bit of. We're just going to need 2 dabbles of it, just enough to get 2 pulsating crystals. That's because I'm only going to make 2 travel anchors for right now. And then we just need a little bit of conduit binder, which I think we have a little bit already. And now we have 2 travel anchors. Now, let's take a look. I think I want to make a controller. I know they're expensive. Well, I guess I already have a controller on me. So I'm going to use this controller. I'm going to show you what I'm going to use it for here in a minute. But let me see. What other item can I get? I mean, crafting table, maybe? I think a crafting table would look good. So we're going to use these 2 items. One of these is going to go right here, right in front of our storage system. So let me break this, and we're going to place a travel anchor right here. Now inside this travel anchor, we can do private, protected, and public. I'm going to do private for right now because it is my own private network. And we're going to do RS system. And then right here, we can actually input a block that we want it to display. And right here, you can say visibility on when this block can be seen while holding a staff traveling. We're just going to leave it like this. We can actually turn that function off if we wanted to. But right now, this thing is set, and it will actually show a controller. So let's go to our other location, and we're going to set this guy up. This is going to make our life a lot easier traveling back and forth to different locations. One being right here. This is going to get moved. We're going to put another torch back on top. That's fine. But inside here, we're going to put a crafting table, private, and we're going to type in main floor. And this is going to be our main floor. Now, when we stand on this, look at that. We can actually see our refined storage system in the distance. And if we jump, we get automatically teleported to it. If we want to go to the main floor, we can jump, and we get automatically teleported to that. It doesn't get any sweeter than the travel anchors, guys. I absolutely love the travel anchors. And they're going to be very nice early on before we get some different ways of traveling. But honestly, the travel anchors are one of my favorites, mainly because you can actually see the item listed that you have set. You can name it and do all kinds of crazy stuff with it if you want. But guys, this has been an awesome episode. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, guys, don't forget to click that subscribe button if you haven't already, and also give this video a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. And as always, thanks for watching.